always start with the most basic building blocks: a circle, a triangle, and a square. These shapes act like containers for the overall layout. I'm not thinking about details yet, only about silhouette, balance, and flow. First, I draw a circular layout. Circular shapes naturally center the design and pull attention toward the middle. This one usually gives me the strongest sense of unity and rhythm. And then I draw a triangular layout. This usually gives me a more directional and dynamic structure, perfect when I want strong leading lines or a tapered focal point. I check how the space narrows, how the viewer's eye might move, but I don't commit yet. Next, I sketch a square layout. This gives me a stable, grounded base. Everything feels organized and architectural. Squares are great for temples, halls, or areas where symmetry and clarity matter. After comparing the three, I decide to go with the circular design. It has the most potential for the mood I want, and it offers smooth flow when I expand it into perspective. Now I take that flat circular shape and push it into a rough perspective sketch. At this stage, accuracy doesn't matter, only depth and structure. I drop a simple horizon line, tilt the circle into space, and divide it into sections so I know where everything will sit. Once the perspective base is ready, I begin adding primary details. I place the main lotus flower structure at the center. This becomes the focal point of the entire space. Around that, I mark the positions for pillars, keeping them evenly spaced so the design reads clearly and feels architecturally believable. Then, I extend a pathway bridge that leads toward the central circular platform. This bridge guides the viewer's eye inward and gives the environment a sense of purpose and direction. At this point, I'm still not polishing anything. The lines are rough, loose, and exploratory, but by starting with simple shapes and gradually moving into perspective and detail, I can iterate fast and lock in a strong composition before committing to rendering. And that's the full process, from basic shapes to rough exploration to forming a structured environment with a clear focal point. In this part of the process, I create a rough 3D blockout to get the perspective accurate and speed up my workflow. Instead of spending a long time drawing perspective grids and guidelines, I rely on a simple 3D setup because, in the industry, time is money. We rarely get a full week to finish an environment. Sometimes it's just a few hours or maybe 1 to 2 days. So using 3D becomes the fastest and most reliable way to build a strong foundation. I start by blocking out the main shapes, the platform, the elevation, the central area, nothing detailed, just enough to understand the space. Once that 3D base is ready, I switch into 2D sketching directly on top of it. This is where the design really comes alive. The 3D gives me perfect perspective and proportions, and the 2D sketch lets me push ideas way beyond what the 3D model can provide. I add pillars, more refined patterns, and sharper silhouettes that tell a story. This is important because beginners often make the mistake of leaving their concepts empty or unclear, but by combining the precision of 3D with the creativity of 2D, I can quickly build a design that feels polished, intentional, and visually engaging. This mix of both worlds, clean structure from 3D and expressive detail from 2D, is what creates a powerful, professional final result. This is it for part 1. Subscribe for part 2, where I show my painting process and layer management in Photoshop. And yes, enrollments are open if you want to learn the secret tips and details I won't be sharing in these videos.